So great is the world in which we live. It has so much to give, so much to give.
There is so much to know while we grow. Lots of things to learn and places to go. So great is the world in which we live. It has so much to give, so much to give.
So great is the world in which we live. It has so much to give, so much to give.
Fun and learn, 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 fun and
Why is Molly making so much noise?
What is she doing?
Why is she not studying with us? Let's ask her why she is not studying and making so much noise. Molly, why are you making so much noise? Please stop it. You are disturbing all of us.
I am not making noise. I am making a new thing.
What new thing?
I don't know, but something new that has never been made before.
But you have not yet completed your homework. So you should stop everything and complete your homework first.
No, I want to make something new. I want to invent something.
I think we should call Vayu and Maya. They can only make her understand that she should study.
Vayu, Maya, please come.
Vayu,
Vayu,
Maya,
please come.
Please come.
Hello, kids.
Hello, Vayu. Hello, Maya.
What are you doing today?
Molly is making so much noise and disturbing all of us that we are not able to study.
What are you doing, Molly? Why are you not studying, dear?
I am making a new thing. My teacher told yesterday in the class that the person who makes new things in the world becomes famous, and I want to be famous.
Hey, that's really interesting.
And your teacher is right. When a man gives a new thing to the world that helps mankind, he or she becomes popular.
But can anyone make new things?
Yes, but most of the inventions have been done by great scientists.
Scientist?
Yes, scientist. Do you know, kids, each and everything that we are using in our daily life has either been invented or discovered.
I also want to be a scientist.
But to become a scientist, you have to be qualified and study very hard because they all were qualified and intelligent. Kids, do you want to know about the scientists and their creations?
Yes, we want to know about them and their creations.
First of all, you all should know the difference between invention and discovery. When someone has an idea for something new and makes it work, it is called an invention. Sometimes many people work on an idea together, and many a times it so happens that one person invents something and the other person improves on it. When someone searches or finds out something new that is already there in this world and makes it work, it is called a discovery.
Children, sometimes an invention is so important that it changes forever the way people do their work. There are many things around us that have made such a difference. Let's look at them one by one. Come on, name few things that we use daily.
Bicycle, car,
Camera, telephone,
aeroplane.
radio, TV.
Okay. So you see, children, the list will be endless. Let us start with the bicycle and see what the bicycles looked like before it got today's modern look. The first bicycles were made way back in the year 1818. It has been more than 150 years now. Do you know, kids, when the first bicycle was made, it had wooden wheels and it was without pedals, so the rider had to push the bicycle with their feet on the ground. It was very difficult to ride this bicycle. Then one Mr. Macmillan from Scotland got an idea for improving the bicycle. He first thought of adding pedals to the bicycle, and his new bicycle was called Hobby Horse. Look children, this is how the Hobby Horse looked like. Then a father and son team from France made another change. In this new form, the front wheel of the bicycle was larger than the back. The wheels were made of wood and had iron rims around them. On the front wheel, they attached the pedals. So this is how the bicycle looked. But this bicycle also could not run fast, so another change was inevitable. This time, the front wheel was much larger than the back wheel. This improved the speed of the bicycle, and this is how the bicycle looked with its very large front wheel. So children, with the passage of time, many more changes were made in the bicycle, and finally, about 100 years ago, bicycles began to look more modern. They were called safety bicycles. They had wheels of equal size, rubber tires, and a chain connecting the pedals to the back wheel. And today, children, we find bicycles for racing, bicycles for mountain biking, and bicycles for daily use. Today, young and old, everyone can enjoy riding a bicycle.
Now, children, let us see who invented the electric light bulb. The same electric light bulbs that we have in our house and that glows when we put on the switch. Children, look at the bulb carefully. Can you see the thin coil in the center? This is what we call the filament. It is this filament that glows when we put on the light. Today, when we switch on a bulb, it keeps glowing till we don't switch it off. But before the electric bulb was invented, many people tried to make a light bulb glow. But no one could come up with a filament that glowed for more than a few seconds. There was this brilliant scientist in United States of America who was also working on the electric bulb. He also tried various different materials for the filament, and finally, in year 1870, he discovered that a carbon filament lasted longest. He used it in his bulb and the bulb glowed for more than 13 hours. Finally, the electric bulb was invented, and this intelligent scientist who invented the electric light bulb was Thomas Edison. Children, you will be surprised to know that Edison carried out experiments on 6,000 different materials to find a filament that would glow for a long time. So you see, children, there is a lesson to be learned from this. And the lesson is that if we believe in something, we should keep trying till we succeed. Children, Edison not only invented the electric light bulb, he went on to invent lots more things in his life.
Children, look at this. This is what we call a telephone. Today, using the telephone, we can talk to relatives and friends around the world. But do you know, children, who invented the telephone?
No!
Telephone was invented by Alexander Graham Bell. Now let's see how the telephone works. Children, the sound of the human voice reaches our ears because of vibration it sets up in the air. Alexander Graham Bell thought about it, and then he tried to convert these vibrations into electric signals so that these electric signals could be sent over great distances. He tried out many experiments, but he got success only in the year 1876. In this successful experiment, Bell called out to his assistant, who was in the next room. "Come here, Watson. I want you." The assistant could hear the voice of Bell, and thus the first telephone was invented. But children, it was not the one that we use today. The modern version was improved upon by Thomas Edison, the same scientist who gave us electric light bulb. In Bell's phone, the same part was used for speaking and listening. Edison separated and made them into two. The one that we attach to our ears is called the earpiece, and the one into which we talk is known as the mouthpiece. Today, both the earpiece and mouthpiece are connected together, and we call it the receiver. Edison made few more changes and improved upon the sound of the speaker's voice so that it could be heard more clearly and distinctly by the listener. Children, we all love to play with jigsaw puzzle, don't we?
Yes! I can solve many jigsaw puzzles.
That is really very good. Solving jigsaw puzzle makes our mind sharp. It's like an exercise for the brain.
It is also interesting.
And fun to solve.
That's right. That is why people of all age groups love the jigsaw puzzle.
The person who must have invented the jigsaw puzzle must be really intelligent.
Gobby, they were not only intelligent enough to see the opportunity, but also they loved what they did. The person who invented the jigsaw puzzle was not a scientist. He was a young man who made and printed maps in England. You see, children, lots of people must have seen maps, but nobody caught the idea to invent a jigsaw puzzle using the map. But the brilliant idea struck this young man, and he made a game out of teaching geography. Let us see how he did it. We will use the map of our country. Children, look, this is the map of our country. See, it is divided into many states. Now suppose we cut out all the states one by one and remove it from the map of India. Now if I tell you to arrange all the cut out states so that we get the original form, then this becomes an interesting puzzle and a jigsaw. This is what this young man did using the world map. By solving this puzzle, children learned about different countries of the world. This intelligent young man's name was John Spilsbury. It was in the year 1760 that he invented the jigsaw puzzle. This idea of his led to puzzles on different subjects. Let us now look at the various puzzles that are still popular today. Look at this sliding block puzzle. See, it is in the shape of a square and has numbers written on it. When the sliding block puzzle is scrambled, the player has to arrange the numbers in sequence by moving through the empty space. Another interesting puzzle is the Rubik's Cube. Look, this is how the Rubik's Cube looks. This was invented in the year 1970. People spend a long time trying to match up the colors on the cube's 6 sides.
Children, there are so many things around us that we take for granted, but it took the intelligence of human being to invent them. Like the simple thing that we use to write, that is a pencil. Children, let us see how the pencil was invented. In the year 1564, soft stone called graphite was discovered. This graphite could be used to write and draw on paper, but it was difficult to use it without a holder because it broke easily and made the writer's hands dirty. From then on, various devices were tried. The graphite was placed between 2 pieces of wood, and the 2 pieces of wood were tied tightly together. Now, the graphite could be held more easily. Children, graphite alone is very soft and breaks easily. So, to make it hard, sulfur was added. But this mixture started melting when the surrounding got warm. After lots of experimenting, finally, clay was added to the graphite to make it stronger. Children, you must have noticed that some pencils write very thin while others write broadly. This is because various degrees of hardness are used for the lead pencils. The hardness ranges from 10H to 8B. H is used for harder grades and B is used for softer ones.
Children, before the invention of the pen, people used to write using their fingers and with a bird's feather.
Father?
Not father, feather. This is a feather. These were dipped in the inks and then were used for writing. After that came the fountain pens and then the ballpoint pens. Children, it is said that necessity is the mother of all inventions. When human beings start facing a problem, we either discover or invent something to solve our problems. The invention of zip was one such case. One thing that used to bother the people was the tying of shoes with shoelaces. Till the year 1893, people used to fasten their clothes and shoes with buttons and laces. One Mr. Judson of the United States of America thought he could come up with something better. He invented a gadget called a clasp locker. It was made of tiny hooks and eyes. But this zip was not able to hold properly. Then, an engineer from Sweden improved upon this invention and made the first zip with gripping metal teeth. Children, the early zips often broke or did not work properly. But after the use of metal teeth, their use spread rapidly throughout the world.
But why do we call it a zip?
When we open and close a zip, it makes a zip zip noise. So children, the name is said to have come from the zip zip noise these zips make when we open and close them.
Well, we all human beings love to store our happy memories for a long, long time. And how do we do it? We click photographs of our happy memories. And what do we use to click those beautiful photographs?
Camera!
Correct. Children, by using today's modern camera, we can click photographs in a few seconds. In fact, in a fraction of a second too. Even you children can use the camera to click photographs. The modern camera has become so simple to use. But earlier, clicking photographs was not so simple. The first cameras took almost 30 minutes to take a photo. So the photographs were taken of landscapes and still or motionless objects because no person could stand still for such a long time to have their pictures taken.
Children, the first cameras were just like tracing tools. It looked something like this. The image of the object kept in front of the camera was projected through the lens onto a mirror. This mirror then reflected and cast the image onto a screen on top. The artist then drew the projected image. So children, a box that projected images onto a wall was called a camera in the 16th century. At that time, films didn't exist to take the pictures. About 300 years later, two Frenchmen took pictures using metal plates. And finally, in the year 1888, George Eastman invented a way to take pictures with the box camera and film.
And today, man has invented all sorts of camera for taking still photographs and moving pictures. Children, all your favorite TV programs and films that we see are also shot on special cameras.
Children, every day we see lots of aeroplanes flying in the sky. Today's aeroplanes are complicated man-made flying machines. It will be very interesting to see what kind of machine was the first aeroplane. Children, long before the first aeroplane was made, man tried various ways to fly like a bird. Some people even made wings like birds and tied them to their body and jumped from high-rise mountains, but they were not successful in flying. After experimenting with lots of ideas, finally, the first aeroplane was built by the Wright brothers of United States. This was the model in which actually anyone was able to fly. This aeroplane was powered by a petrol engine. This petrol engine rotated the propellers fixed behind the main wings. The pilot of the aeroplane had to lie flat on his stomach. Today we might find all this very funny, but this was the first successful flight and the year was 1903. The Wright brothers called their plane the Flyer. And children, this aeroplane was in the air only for 12 seconds. But people all over the world were excited. They knew that it was not far away when they could fly. This was how the first aeroplane flown by the Wright brothers looked. And after that, many people across the world worked on the model of the aeroplane, and its shape kept changing till the aeroplane got today's modern shape. Here are some of the earlier aircrafts developed across the world. Look how the shape kept changing to make the aeroplane more easy to fly.
Even I can make aeroplane with paper that can fly.
Yes, children really love to fly those airplanes made out of paper. Talking about papers, children, let me tell you that the paper which we use for so many things was also invented. And the invention of paper was something so important that it changed the way we work. Today, we cannot think our lives without paper.
Children, before paper was invented, people used to carve messages on stone and wood. In ancient Egypt, people wrote on thin strips of papyrus stems that were joined together. People started looking at different ways of writing, and children, the first paper was invented way back in the year AD 105 in China. Let us see how the paper was made. A paper maker began by boiling raw plant fiber like cotton until the fiber turned into mush. He then spread the mush on a screen in a wooden frame and then soaked it in water. When he lifted the frame out of the water to drain, only a thin film of mush was left. As the film dried, it became a sheet of paper. Children, once someone invents or discovers something, other people start developing and making it more and more better. The same thing happened with paper, and with the passage of time and intelligence of lots of people, the paper took the modern version that we use today. In today's world, we use so many things that are made of paper. So you see, children, today paper has become a part of our daily lives. Look around you and you will find papers all around you in different forms. So we can say that the invention of paper has created a revolution in our lives.
Children, after the invention of paper, people started finding various methods of using the paper to write, read, and do other things. Many used pen and ink to write, while others carved a message in a block of wood and then brushed the block of wood with ink. This was then pressed against the paper and the matter on the block got printed on the paper. So this was the first form of printing.
Children, there is a very interesting story as to how the idea of printing press was developed. It all began with a small mistake. Yes, even a mistake can sometimes make the mind think of new ideas and invent new things. It so happened that one day a German silversmith, Johannes Gutenberg, was carving out a message. He had almost reached the end of a line when he made a mistake in a word by spelling it wrongly. Just as when we make a spelling mistake while writing, we don't start writing the whole thing again. What we do is rub the wrong spelling and continue from there. Gutenberg also did the same thing. He cut out the wrong letter and replaced it with the right letter. And suddenly, he realized that he didn't have to do all the carving again to correct his one mistake. In 1438, Gutenberg had a brilliant idea. He thought of making letters that could be used many times and rearranged as many times as one wanted to spell any word.
After this wonderful idea, Gutenberg also invented a machine that could print a complete page at a time. Before this, people were printing by hand. They laid paper on inked letters and rubbed a heavy flat stone across the paper to press it down and make a print. Now see children, how an idea can change things around. Gutenberg had seen a machine that was used for pressing grapes into a machine. He found this machine could evenly press down on paper. Gutenberg had an idea how to change it and use it for printing. He called this machine a printing press, and thus the first printing press was invented.
Kids, all our books, newspapers and magazines that we read are printed in a printing press.
Another invention that created even bigger revolution around the world was the invention of the steam engine. In the year 1765, when most work was done by hand, one engineer, James Watt, improved a steam engine that someone had invented. Watt's engine were capable of doing work faster in factories than done by human beings. Soon smoke started coming out of factory chimneys as steam engines burnt coal to produce steam. This very steam was then used to power heavy machines that did heavy work in mines and produced goods like fabrics.
Children, Watt's improvement of steam engine made possible the development of steam locomotives or steam engines that pulled trains and steamships. This made transportation not only easier but also faster. People could now travel from one place to another much faster than before, and large quantities of goods too could be transported easily. As more and more factories started using the power of steam engine, it was clear that the world was witnessing a dramatic change, and the change came in the form of a revolution, the Industrial Revolution. The invention of steam engine had laid the foundation of this industrial revolution, as machine power had become more powerful than manual labor. Children, this single revolution dramatically changed the world we live in, and you can see the results around you. Kids, have you ever seen your reflection in the water?
Yes, I have seen my reflection in the water.
Yes, we have also seen our reflection in the water.
Very good. In ancient times, when mankind first saw reflections in a pond or river, it was like magic for them. Soon they started using it as a mirror to watch themselves. People also used shiny stones as mirror, but neither stones nor water gave a clear reflection, because water is never steady and the stones were not smooth enough to give a clear reflection of the person looking into it.
Then people started learning the ways of polishing metal and making them into shiny surfaces. People in earlier civilization developed bronze by mixing tin and copper. They found that if they made it flat and polished it well, bronze could be used as a crude mirror. Soon people started using the shiny surface of bronze as mirror.
Then, in the year 1508, the glassmakers in Italy invented a mirror made of glass. They coated the back of a sheet of glass with tin and mercury. This made the glass shiny and it reflected the images perfectly. Then, in the year 1840, the tin and mercury mixture was replaced with silver. To this date, silver is used to coat mirrors. Whatever things that we use today in our daily lives were earlier just an idea that was developed and made available to the world, making our lives easier, simpler and exciting.
One day, even I will invent something that will make everyone on earth happy.
Hey, that's really great, Bobby.
Gobby, what are you thinking, dear?
I want to ask you something.
Yes, what is it?
Who invented the ice cream?
Gobby always talks about eating.
It's all right, Shasha. We all love these things and we should know more about it. Don't worry, Gavi, we will tell about it also. But talking about ice creams has made me feel like having one. First, let us all go and have some ice creams. Children, join Vayu and Maya along with these wonderful kids as they learn more and more interesting things every day. Be the first to know about all these wonderful and interesting things and make a big impression in your school. Till next time, take care and have fun learning with the series of Fun and Learn.